Okay, we're ready to get going. Is there anything like off limits? It doesn't sound like it from what I've heard.
No.
But
I was telling my mom, I was like, before you say something, maybe ask if you can talk about it. And then she was like, why? She was like, Britany says whatever. I was like, all right, do whatever you want.
Yeah, no, that's actually better when there's no limit there.
Right? Yeah, I don't have a filter. Yeah.
Good.
Sweet.
Yes, that's
Cool.
good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Tell Mom podcast, episode 70. Freaking 4.
I don't even know how you keep up with it, Cullen.
Well,
Thank God you're
I'm
in charge of
the
that shit.
editor, so it's like I keep the numbers just ticking along.
We've been doing it for a while, folks. Thank
Holy
you guys so
shit.
much for listening. Y'all are in for a treat today.
Oh my gosh.
Not just one treat, but two.
It's actually ironic the way this all works out. We are the Don't Tell Mom podcast, and our guest today is LuLu and Tori. I kind of mixed them up there. I got them all
Smushed them
together.
But
Tori
it
and
doesn't matter. It's all good.
Tori and Lula. Is it Piskin? Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Piskin.
Yes, I love
And
it.
they have a podcast called Got It From My Mama.
Got it from my mama.
I was just listening to a podcast and you were getting it confused with your mama, my mama, and y'all were calling each other out, and so I'm
She
like,
was getting confused about her own name of her podcast.
Yes.
Hey, y'all, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my God, how do I get your accent?
I want your accent.
No,
I know. I feel like I would drive better with your accent. You know what I mean?
I'm like really like an angry driver. You could have like that really
Shocker.
People like take notice when you have this accent. But you guys are like so cute and so endearing and just like
She's becoming such a mom. She's giving you so many
I
compliments.
know. I love it.
Not her own daughter, but about everyone else's kid. It's like, they're amazing. I don't know what you're up to lately.
Well, if y'all can't tell from already hearing their accents and their demeanor, I guess, is the hilarity that they have in common.
Yeah.
Tori
just
is
the
a
dynamic
comedian.
between the two of you. Yeah, the dynamic between the two of you. I think you're both comedians, right? But like you do stand up, Tori.
She got it from her mama.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I love it. And so tell us about yourself. Where did you get started? What are you doing out there?
Who are you?
Tori Piskin.
So yeah, I do stand up, and then I just was in Comics to Watch, part of the New York Comedy Festival. So I do that, and I make like sketches on my Instagram, and then I guess how the podcast started is I went through.
Usually I brag about her, but I don't know. Now I'm just
now
not.
I'm like, you have to
Usually,
stop.
like I give you a whole list as the mom. Like you guys, I was listening to you, and the dynamics are so different being a brother and a sister as opposed to the mother and the daughter.
That's right.
That is right.
That's right.
I don't know how y'all do it.
I don't have to say ma'am or sir to him.
I don't know.
Say yes,
I don't think I could. If I had to
don't
have
worry,
a podcast with
fine.
my mom.
We have a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's so funny because even the dynamic between our mom, Granberry, like we're very uncensored. I think with her, we can fuck with her a lot. But I don't know. It's different. It's different between y'all. Are almost kind of like sisters to me.
Y'all are the same age almost. It looks like.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Yes.
look at me getting brownie points.
No, you're getting a lot of brownies. There is another daughter. I know you have 2 more sisters.
Yes, that's right. I'm the baby of 4. He's the only boy.
Oh my God! So were you like the prince of the family?
I was the golden boy. Yeah.
Well, the only boy, right?
Yeah, the only boy,
yeah.
the golden boy.
Yeah, we got to dress him up. That was fun.
Yeah, it's a wonder I got married and turned out the way I did.
Tori, are you the only baby, or is there more in the family?
I have an older sister who we don't really talk about. Sometimes we talk about. She's kind of like a mystery like character on the podcast. Like some people talk about her, and then sometimes you won't. And then she has a baby, and sometimes we're not supposed to say his name, but then we slip and then we say his name. So sometimes it's the baby's name, or sometimes it's nephew, sometimes it's grandbaby. We don't really.
She get so mad, or y'all are like sorry.
I think she stopped listening. So how this all kind of started. Tori's the single one, which in New York is really hard, and of course that's my stress. And the older one actually danced for New York City Ballet.
Wow.
But when you meet like a real ballerina type, like Black Swan, they do not talk. So she is the complete antithesis of us.
Right, different.
So you really can't have her on the podcast because it would be dead air.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think she listens, I have to tell you.
She'll be like, she's like, I listened to this episode. I was like, that was 20 episodes ago. Like,
but actually, we just had a live show and we banned her and the husband from coming.
What are they booing you in the state?
No, we just felt like they're very judgmental. We thought like if they would, I don't know, give us a look. So we were like, we just don't want them there.
Yeah.
We got to keep it all good vibes, happy, positive
Don't want
vibes.
the pressure.
Hey, you know what though? People are different. We got the same situation. Like we have, our siblings aren't, the spotlight kind of people. Cullen and I are, so we'll take over for their share too. That's what we do.
Try to force it too.
We
all
do.
the time we're
We
like,
force
take
it.
a damn picture, let's go. And they're like, no.
Yeah, right. It's like the source of arguments in our family.
So funny, like the dynamics, but I would think it's easier. Like I was listening to you guys and you were so cute together. And I have a brother actually.
Do you?
I
Okay.
think we could do a podcast together. Actually, we tried having him on. Tori wanted him to talk about like my childhood. He was awful. Like we couldn't even edit it to make it a good episode. But the podcast really started out of Tori's breakup with a guy.
Okay.
But as you can see, it was my mom's breakup as well.
Yes.
Because it really affected
Right? You married the family. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all like completely devastated. And so I had no choice, but she was so devastated to do this podcast.
Well, she was really, whenever I would tell her about like the dates after the breakup or just about the guy, she would say really funny things. And I always knew my mom was very funny. And then I was like, oh, I should just do a podcast because I would make these like videos with her where I would just ask about dating. And then people were like, can you make them longer? And I was like, why don't I do a podcast? And that's kind of how it started.
That's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah.
The dynamic is amazing. Y'all just feed off of each other, and just listening to some of the podcasts. Speaking of the dating, the guy came up and sat down at dinner one night, and I'm just like sitting here. The picture you paint is just hilarious. Like sitting there.
Who lives in my neighborhood, and then we're out to dinner, and then all of a sudden he comes up to like we're eating outside, and he comes up, and my mom doesn't know I like dated him, I think, or like went on a few dates, and then she's like, sit down. She thinks he's a friend, so then she starts telling him about my breakups and my Lyme disease and how she's single, and I'm like, what? This is so embarrassing.
So I have this like mini sheepadoodle. We talk a lot about my dog because I'm like a dog lover. So I just got this puppy and I bring her everywhere. So the puppy was with us under this like, it was like a picnic table in Manhattan. But not very clean in Manhattan. It's always like, you turn to the right, there's a bum. You turn to the left, there's the guy that owns Amazon. It's that. Anyway, so this good-looking guy was walking past us, and he's like, hey, Tori. But Tori has a lot of guy friends that are comedians, like so many. So I thought, oh, here's another one, but this one's cute. Maybe she should really consider this. So then I was like, do you want a piece of pizza? I didn't know she freaking had gone on a date with him.
And then later,
he's eating
the whole meal.
He was mooching off of him, and it got awkward quick.
I literally thought it was like a good friend of hers. So I was like, I tell everyone about her breakup. We, even though it was like over a year ago already, like and the whole world knows about it. And I just hope, we pray to God he's heard all this. But so
that's the real reason that you started the podcast.
Well, this is the goal. Yeah, we wanted to get back at him.
Yeah.
So, you love how she keeps saying we. I'm like, what about me? She's like, no, it really affected me. Father.
It seems like you're more devastated out of the two. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. She keeps like people at her job. My mom and my sister own a fitness studio. So my mom is very like involved with all of her kids, like two of them, both of her kids. Lives.
Yeah, my older daughter I have a business with as well.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. I could have never thought that at this point in my life I'd be on this journey with both of them. So it's definitely challenging. But because the older one kind of took over more, so I just shut my mouth. This is a little harder dynamic with Tori because we're more alike.
Yeah.
So we like really we could butt heads and go at it. The other daughter doesn't talk, so it's all good.
You win. Yeah.
That's so intriguing because earlier when you were talking about accents, you said it sounds like you drive fast. I almost said it was going through my brain that or you know how to run a good business, and there you are with two businesses or you got going under your belt there.
Doing your thing. I love it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Is incredible.
Now I have a question, and I don't know if this is too personal or not, but where's your dad? Is he in the picture?
Oh yeah, he's in the picture.
I hear I heard him talking about Daddy.
Wait, so I don't know what.
So we're married 36 years.
Okay.
And he's a dentist, but he does all the financials of the fitness business behind the scenes. The podcast he loves listening to, except in the beginning, like I was really talking about how hard marriage was, and he's on his way home from work in a car, and he would come home and he wouldn't talk to me for a few hours. So then I felt like guilty, and I was like, oh, maybe I should dial this back, but I was kind of just letting it out.
Yeah.
And it was
like therapy for both of us.
Yeah,
in different ways.
It was a little difficult. I think, though, he's very supportive. We just had our first live show. Which I didn't know what the hell was going on. She just kept telling me I'm the talent and to show up, which was like really nerve-wracking.
Right.
Like, talent. I don't know what kind of...
You're not a comedian. You're not like a stand-up comedian, are you? Have you ever done anything like that?
No. She used to teach like fitness on TV and have like interviews with like late night talk show hosts. So my mom, and if you watch these videos, because that was part of the live show, I was playing these like old fitness videos from the 80s, but when my mom gets interviewed, she was always very funny and she would make jokes, but I don't think she knew what she was doing. She was just being her.
Yeah.
And people, you know, I think she never realized that like she was a comedian, and then like I was born and I got the same thing from her, but I was like, oh wait, I am a comedian. So I kind of just like made my mom a comedian.
So
you figured it out first, and then
So there's a great story, and we've told it on our podcast, but so we had a screen test. We've had like a few, I'm sure you guys have, and we had someone come and say they maybe want to do a show on the two of you. So we went and we thought we had this, and it went really well. The casting agent's like, oh, you have this, you're amazing.
Basically, it was like the podcast we have, but we made it into like a TV show idea.
No, but
I love that idea.
More important, they really wanted Tori, and she decided we'd have a better chance with both of us. So I'm always thrown into these things, and maybe she'd have a better chance with her. But anyway, so we went and we did the podcast,
Not the podcast, the test screening for the pilot.
So they wrote Tori an email about a week later, right?
Yeah, they were like, it's not a good fit. We thought it was more of like a podcast thing, and I was like, okay, whatever. Then my mom gets a DM, and obviously my mom knows how to use Instagram. She's good, but she's not like, sometimes she can't like put the pieces together of everything. So she gets a DM and looks at the photo, and it's like some 1960s photo of a man. So now she thinks, oh, that's the person whose Instagram account is. But you know how sometimes like people just have photos of other people as their like profile.
Right, yeah.
So then this person like asked my mom, like, what's your email? I'm a casting director, blah, blah. Then my mom didn't put the pieces together. It was the same casting person that had emailed me. So she went kind of behind my back to DM my mom. Basically, long story short, they wanted my mom to come in to do a test screening with the girl they had picked for this pilot show.
Oh, no.
We're like, we want you to come in to do a test screening and see if you have chemistry with this girl.
No, and they were like, you're so relatable, and can you grace our presence? And they were like, I mean, this email was like,
you kissing your ass. They wanted you.
Racer, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, this funny part is, then I DM'd her back and I said, you need to give me a phone call. I mean, it's so and she called me, and I was like, listen, I want to know why we didn't get this thing. And so she kind of went on to say why. Well, we don't really want a comedian. And I said, listen, we're a package. I said, I'm not helping some other girl out.
Yeah.
So and then my mom got like very mom-like. I don't know if it's just my mom, but she was like, and let me tell you something about, she's like, the other girl, she has no followers. She was, and then she's like, let me tell you what my daughter's doing, because I was in LA at the time, and I was like, and let me tell you what my daughter's doing in LA. And the casting girl was like, I mean, and I don't think she really cared. And my mom just went down like a long list of like all the things I was doing, and obviously like hiding it, making it sound amazing. And then it was like,
we still didn't get it.
No, yeah, because she was just the girl that was put in charge to call you and tell you no. She wasn't even the one that really could probably make a decision.
But they wanted my mom to come on as like the love expert. But the thing is, my mom wasn't like a matchmaker.
But she made me that character.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I made you. Do they know?
Moms will tell you how it is. I love that. With our mom, it's like, that's so funny, because it's like, oh, she's got all these followers. Or, if we're talking to somebody, they have all these followers. I'm like, well, it's not about that really as much as it is just making the connection. And, it's just funny how they stick up for you with
it's cute, too,
what they're learning.
We call her Granberry, our mom, but it's cute because
Berry?
Granberry. Her name's Berry, and she'll tell you if you ever meet her, she'll be like, "My name's Berry, like a strawberry." That's how she introduces herself.
Berry? I love that.
Yeah, so she's her. We call her Granberry, and she is. When Cullen, started doing the vlogging, people started going and finding who his mom was because she's hilarious, and so she would get all the Instagram, and I don't think she really knows how to do it too well. Probably not as good as you do, but it's funny because she's so cute. She's like, "I got another one," she's just so good. She keeps up with the number of it, and then the other day she was like, "I lost like 5 people to stop following," and she was like, "Well, what happened?"
Mom will be like, "Oh, I don't know what happened. I lost 10 followers," and then this was my favorite story recently. She got a DM from these like not hackers, but people that will Instagram you being like, "Do you want to be verified?" Right?
Yeah.
It'll be like scams, and a lot of people know that. But my mom wrote back going, "Yes." So
yes.
Is this person that lives in the Bronx, which is like a part of New York, and wants to help my mom get verified. And my mom's like, "Should I do it?" And I'm like, "No, stop responding."
I don't even know what verified means.
No,
it's the blue check mark.
Yeah.
No, but what does that mean? I have
it means it doesn't even matter like how many people you have following you. You can have, because I've seen people with the blue check mark that's like 5,000 followers or something.
Yeah.
But it means that like people are looking for that specific person.
You got swag.
Like say you were on a reality show 10 years ago and you only have 5,000 followers because Instagram wasn't even around then or whatever. But when people search you, they want to know who's the guy off Real World season 2. You know what I mean? And then you find and he'll have the blue check mark and you're like, okay, because people are looking for that Mike Johnson.
I just knew it must have been like I was thinking maybe I got important. I was like, yes.
But most of the time, you have a lot of subscribers and like people. That's who you're looking for.
I would imagine with the recent or the way that y'all work, Tori, is the comments that you may get or something. You're like, oh, whatever, that's a hater or that's just a stupid comment. But your mom probably takes it to heart and she's like, that dumbass, what is he saying about y'all? Why is he saying this? My mom would get so personal with. I'm like, Mom, it's tough skin. It's just
a troll. I don't know. Wait, have we ever got any haters?
I did not, but you did when you just did that Facebook campaign. It wasn't a hater. So Tori just did that.
Oh, here she's gonna. Anyway, I did some.
No, but you got negative reviews, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. If somebody gets snarky on your comments, do you just tear their ass up?
I have enough followers.
No, I think my mom once got. No, she never got like a snarky, but she got like some guy flirting with her.
Oh, yeah, I had a lot since the podcast, and I think they think I'm her. So I'm like, all right, I'll go with this. I haven't flirted in like 35 years.
Next thing you know, you're dating somebody.
Yeah. So I'll write back hi, but then I stop. I get like really nervous, like something.
Or then on Facebook, she'll be like, "This guy from India keeps wanting to talk to me." And it's like always a lot of, those situations.
Yeah. So does I saw in your stories recently, you were dressed up in like a jazzercise type. Was that for your live show?
Yeah, that was part of the live show. So I basically played an old fitness video of my mom in the 80s being interviewed. And then she taught like a class on this TV show she was on. And then I came out basically like in the same outfit and taught like a mock comedy fitness class to the audience. And did that.
Yeah, and I was going, why the hell am I here? She just so by herself. I was like, I was actually stressed out because I had never, it's been a long time since I've done anything like that. And Tori's used to being on the stage a lot. So I kept going, Tori, you better not fuck me over with this. What the hell am I actually doing? And she goes, no, just be yourself.
No, but she was great. But the only thing is, I think this is also like a mom thing. During the live show, we would I had a lot of questions and we were reading questions from the audience and Instagram and questions I made up. And my mom kept calling people on the audience she knew. Like she'd be like, Katie, my neighbor. Like she would just call people on the audience. And the people maybe wouldn't want to be involved with the live show. But my mom just kept calling people out.
But she kept looking over at me and going, stop it. We were like, she's like, that's enough. And she kept pushing my mic. And I was like, that little bitch. So, because I'm the mom, but yet she's the boss in this. So it gets a little complicated.
Yeah, I can see how the wires get crossed there.
It does. And it gets we have fights. No, we do. We have fights because I don't like when she's fresh to me. And she's
Fresh.
Did your parents still say that?
No, I saw
never
one of your
said that
story
on
or one of your little what a snippet of one of y'all's fresh. That was hilarious. How they try to keep up with the whipping the nays of the world, and like Granberry will whip and
That's
nay.
what you need to do some dancing.
Fresh.
That's what she used to say. Like, yeah, I guess I don't know if that's like a New York thing or a Jewish thing, but my mom would always be like, "You're fresh." I guess what's the equivalent of that?
Smart. Don't get smart with me, young lady. That kind of thing.
That's a nicer way to say it, of course. Of course. So has your mother been on the podcast with you guys?
Yeah.
She has. She actually. I don't know if you know or if y'all know, but we do YouTube videos, and we're doing this when we're having my daughter, and we did a little. It was called Baby League, where we did like a series of leading up to. It's called Baby Steps, leading up to having the baby and going through the process. Well, then Granberry had a spin-off of that, her own little own show called Granberry Sense, where she would give the grandmother advice.
Oh my God.
And that kind of stuff. So she's
famous in her own right.
She's been in the she's been in the spotlight. She's
Yeah.
showed us how to like lay on an ironing board to flip a breech baby over and do.
Yeah, she's
all
no
the
shame.
crazy
She has
stuff.
no shame.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, she's been on the podcast a couple times too, and she's very limited on what she's gonna say because she's just not the type of person that'll tell you anything, and she's always going, no, you can't curse with her, She's like, I'm a principal, like, and when we're one-on-one, we just let it, it doesn't matter. We can say anything we want, but when she's like on camera, she's like, no, remember, I have a job. I'm a principal. You're not gonna embarrass me.
I can understand that. Like I always wonder, like the people at work, they're like all listening. But the thing is, they go to me and we know you're crazy. Yeah. So I like a scenario, they're used to me. Like, and I'm kind of old school. I was a figure skating coach, it wasn't like a principal, like a competitive figure skating coaches. And they're like tough people. Yeah. So I think I kind of had that part of me. So this was just who I am.
Right,
but there's a lot of person going on with here.
Yeah.
With me more than her.
Do you ever give her like the look, like if she's going too far, do you just like look, because our mom, she can look at us and we know we need to back it up. We need to back up the path we're going on, because she'll just.
The look is from Tori to me.
Yeah, it's usually I'm telling. Yeah, it's like, don't say that. Like, don't bring that up.
She has to reel me in.
Right.
Or now on the podcast, like now she thinks she's like, I don't know, like Oprah. Like now she's asking really deep questions to people that are comedians. Like they'll be like, this one girl we had, she was like, I'm into dating older guys, and my mom was like, well, is your father around? Like,
let's figure this out.
And then I'm like, don't do that. And she's like, what? We need to get deep with them. And I'm like, what are you doing?
But it's more natural. Like, it's a mother thing. It's not really that. You know what I mean? It's like also being a mother of adult children. Yeah. It's like a no-brainer that obviously if you're dating someone in your 50s or 60 and you're 26, there's a problem.
Right. Yeah, I would just say that.
Also,
spits out of my mouth.
But also she clearly has a problem where she like tells people. I think my mom likes to like be involved with like the gossip. I don't know if your mom's like that, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, it's a Southern thing anyway, just to to spill the tea and all that. Yeah.
So basically, I love that. We'll go on other people's podcasts. Like we'll go on other people's podcasts that are all in like the comedy New York community, and that person will talk about like someone they don't like, and then my mom will be like, I only met them once, but I could tell I didn't like them either. And I'm like, don't start this drama. Because you're not in the scene now. I'm associated. People think I don't like him. Do you know what I mean?
I just like, it just comes like natural. It's like when your kids were young, you guys have kids, and you're like pissed at that, they had that fight in school, and you're like, oh, that, I'm going to go up to the principal, which I used to do, by the way.
Yeah. So
it kind of comes from that. But I guess it's funny. I don't know. She always has like comedians on who are like really a mess, all of them. Like, you guys are the most stable people I've spoken to. Both have kids, because everyone Tori has on, they're single, they're down and out, they have a million. The dating, New York is a tough scene.
Yeah. Oh, it seems like it. I've been to New York one time, and it was not. It wasn't the best experience because I was in an argument with my husband. But so that'll just ruin any trip. But yeah, I was there. It was beautiful. It was cool. But I don't think I could ever live there. It was it was too fast paced for me. Which it seems like it's perfect for y'all because y'all are fast-paced people. You know what I mean? I could just tell. Like
high energy and.
But you were born and raised there, right? Were both of you born and raised there?
Yeah. But the other daughter's nothing like us. Like if you met her, you would think like she would be from somewhere else. But I think it comes from the ballet. But I keep trying to get rid of Tori. Like
I can't shake her.
Out of here because I got to get her to meet a guy. So I'm like, listen, I'll come wherever you want. I swear I'll come for a month. She's probably like, oh, who needs her for a month? And we'll do the podcast. But I really think she should get. New York is just it's a very tough single scene.
Yeah, I think it maybe it's like I don't know if this is a Jewish thing or what, but your moms are always like really hounding you to like you need to get a man, get pregnant, have babies, you want grandbabies, all that.
I don't care about the baby thing. Well, maybe because I have one. Okay. But I think
she doesn't have a baby, she has a grandson.
No,
right.
Baby.
Yeah, she's occupied with that baby right now.
Exactly, but I think it's more, and I'm going to be honest, I think if Tori was happy, then it would be fine. Tori admit the shit. And I think Tori doesn't want, it's lonely. No, be honest.
There's so many people in New York, and I could totally see how it'd be lonely if you didn't have somebody that if you weren't like in a relationship, because everybody's just looking down and they're just going and they're just so fast and nobody's stopping and saying hello to each other, and like it just seems like everybody's just going so fast.
Can she move in with one of you?
Yeah.
We'd find you a man in no time, girl.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, you remind us of our cousin. Well, on my wife's side, a cousin that's got the red curly hair, and
he said, well, Corbin is who he's talking about on Katie's side, but I think you remind me of my cousin who's living in New York, and she does the ballet.
She's an actress.
She's an actress. She's on Broadway. She played Annie. She had the hair.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She played Annie on one of those shows. My sister actually her name's Annie, but she went and she's like watched her. She's seen her like doing her Broadway show and stuff. But you swear to God, I think you just look just like her. I gotta I'm gonna DM you a picture of her because your hair and everything all look just alike. But
do y'all take any of the podcast stuff into real life? I mean, it's like what you see is what you get. But
I was about to ask you, like in relationships too, especially dating, like a guy can go on and just kind of listen to everything because y'all just kind of put everything out there on the podcast, huh? You just talk about anything.
She's had a lot of problems with this. You're full of shit. They literally go to her. Are you gonna like talk about me in the podcast if things don't work out? Come on.
Oh yeah.
I really don't. I only talk about people that like I've been on like a few dates with, and I'm like, okay, that was a funny situation. But I haven't been in something that's like a serious, or I see something serious happening, so I don't really talk about. So all these dates, I've just like been dating a lot.
Tori.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. We'll see if I like you. If I like you, then I'll protect you from it. But if I don't, fuck you. I'm talking about you.
After the breakup and we trashed him good, we had to get that out of our system.
Yeah.
That was
with two microphones. It was amazing.
Yeah, but we still touch on it still. But like that was like the best therapy. Because like we didn't know who was listening. We let's trash him bad.
Let's hope his boss is listening. You know what I mean?
So that was really good therapy.
Yes, I bet.
You guys like love doing this together?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's so much fun.
It was kind of just started off as a joke, or not a joke.
Yeah, it was kind of. We were just sitting at the house hanging out. Like I think I had called you. We were doing because I had called him over to do something on my vlog. I had just started vlogging and we were doing like a brother sister Q&A, and we just had so much fun doing it. And we were talking about all these things that we did growing up, just giving our mom hell, and. We said, oh my gosh, we should have a podcast to just talk about this stuff. Well, first we're going to call it Checkmate or something.
We were playing chess.
We were playing chess when we came up with this game or this idea. And then the next day we're like, that was dumb. Let's not call it that. And we just started, and it started out with just the two of us, just talking about, but you run out of stories eventually. And then we started getting guests on, and it's just.
Fight before? Like, do you guys fight and then like have to go on?
We don't fight.
You don't?
I see it. With her sister, she doesn't talk, so she wouldn't fight.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I don't know how much she'd add to the party. You don't fight.
Aww. Like me and my mom fight, and then we'll be like, all right, hit record.
Like right now is when we need to get all this on there.
We could have some big fights, yeah.
No, I don't think we've ever really had any huge fights or anything. I mean, I don't know. My sister and I, we've gotten in some whoppers or whatever. Me and my mom fight, but then we'll literally call each other the next day and just pretend like it didn't happen and be like, so do you want to go for lunch? I want this sandwich. I had this. Like, you know what I mean? Just talk like normal.
But isn't that more like a sister, mother-daughter thing? Like, do you fight with your mom?
Me? There was one time, not really. I mean, there's a one time that
she'll be disappointed or something, or you know what I mean. And then they'll get over it. You know what I mean? It never lasts very long.
Something happens with the grandkids or the kids, or something happens.
But yelling,
and then it's
no. There's never any kind of like yelling at each other, or anything like that. Like she'd whoop us. We can't. We don't yell. We don't yell at mom. No.
Female thing. You know what I mean? I think that. I didn't have a son, but I know, like, with my grandson, he's like, oh, my God, I'm beside myself with him. And I'm like, thank God she didn't have a girl. Hallelujah.
So how'd you get into the comedy scene, Tori?
Well, I got it. So I grew up in the city, so I think I was always interested in comedy because I was dyslexic. So I was always, like, very funny because I was, like, I guess, like, a shield to be like, oh, I don't want to read, so, like, let me be funny.
Uh-huh.
Then in high school, I was taking classes at like improv theaters in the city. And then, from there I started doing that. And then in college I was doing it. And then after college, I actually got sick with Lyme disease. And then I was making all these like Lyme disease videos. I'm very popular in the Lyme disease community.
Is that from like horses or something? Or
from a tick, like a tick on a deer.
On a deer, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Horses.
Wait, tell me what it is. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant. I don't know what it is.
A lot of people don't know. Yeah.
It's a tick. It's a tick-borne disease. Okay. And on a tick, I guess you can have, like, a tick can have Lyme disease, but sometimes a tick can't. But most ticks can be found, like, on deer, and I think, like, in rats places, but mostly on deer. I think it's most popular in this area, New York.
Like we should have lots of that down here in the South.
I don't think of deer running around New York, but
it's from deer, but it could be in the woods. It could be like if you ever hear of the Hamptons. You ever hear of the Hamptons? Mm-hmm. Jet setty place. So no, but it is in New York. So that has a lot of ticks. But if you catch it within 6 weeks, you can get cured immediately.
Okay.
If you don't, you have chronic Lyme.
Then it could like manifest into like so many different people think they have MS, but then they had Lyme for 10 years. I mean, luckily, like I knew what it was, but I didn't get treated properly. So basically, after a year of being sick, then I had to do IV antibiotics for another year.
Damn.
How do you know?
So
like, what are the side effects?
I was about to say, like, how did you like?
Okay, so the problem with Lyme, the symptoms, is like if I tell you, you guys are going to be like, do I have Lyme? Because it can make sense in so many different ways. Like, I mean, you definitely know if you have it because you're extremely fatigued. Like, it's the feeling you get when you slept only 3 hours, but you slept 14 hours.
Okay.
And then you can have like panic attacks for no reason, and you're having headaches, and the best way to describe it is it feels like you're like jet lagged, but you're not.
Okay.
So I was in my senior year of college, and I was like, something is not right. Like, I was sleeping so much. I was like crying. I was like feeling panicky. And then I was in college, and I was having blurry vision. And my mom was like, this is such a mom. She's like, you need to get home. Like, my mom she's like, I thought she had a brain tumor. And like made my dad drive to Boston, which is like 4 hours from New York, to pick me up. And I didn't have a doctor because, you know, when you're like 21, it's like a weird time. It's like, do you get a doctor? You're still seeing your pediatrician. Yeah. So I went to my pediatrician.
Well, no, most people aren't. But
okay, well,
I didn't know any of the doctors. So I was like, I'm taking her to that pediatrician, Dr. Moranti, I trusted. Yeah. You know, all I really knew.
Yeah.
I was really scared she had a brain tumor because she had symptoms, you know, terrible headaches and migraines, symptoms you can get from a brain tumor. I had no idea what Lyme was. Right. I just knew to. I never heard of it. And so I took her to the doctor, and the doctor was like, she tested her for Lyme, which a lot of people don't test you for Lyme. And like, there are a lot of famous people that have had it, like Avril Lavigne had it, and she was like out of commission for years.
Really?
And she was like, she wrote all about it. I can't think of all there's so many.
Yeah.
I've heard of I've heard of it before. I've heard of Lyme disease. I just didn't really know exactly what it was. Like, what were the effects of it? I remember because it was like a Real Housewives. I like the reality shows. And it was like a Real
Housewives. We loved that.
Yeah.
Yolanda had that, but
yes, yeah.
Oh, and I think Bella has it, and the son. But Yolanda is very, very has it pretty bad.
That's just so crazy to think that you could get that from. Like, I'm just thinking how many ticks I've had on me.
Yeah,
you know, and you got to burn them with the thing, so they come all the way out. And I mean,
that's crazy.
And I'm sitting here, you're like fatigued. God, I might have that.
Like
I really
said.
might.
I'm
so tired. I'm pregnant. That's why I'm tired. I hope, and it's not Lyme disease. But I was like, I might.
But I was like, also, Tori is a hypochondriac. So, like, part of me was like, she's in college. And I'm like, ugh, just ignore her. You know, and I was like, then when she, like, went to the hospital and couldn't see, like, had all this blurry vision, I was like, go get her now. And, you know, once we detected it, it wasn't that long, but it was long enough to really go through her bloodstream. And I remember when they called us and said she had Lyme, I was like, hallelujah, she doesn't have brain cancer.
Right, because it's treatable.
We did not know how serious it was. We really thought she'd take this antibiotic and she'd be fine, which was not the case at all.
Yeah.
You said IVs?
For a year?
Yeah, so I was like sick for a year just doing like oral antibiotics, like a doxycycline, but I never got fully better, and I was just going throughout the year kind of like doing my life like college in the summer and like taking on internships and like doing comedy, but like never, and then I kept getting worse and worse, and then I finally went to a Lyme specialist, and he was like, at that point, like, I mean, I was like, couldn't even like walk a block. Like I had like tunnel vision, and he was like, you're very sick. Like you need to do IV antibiotics. And I was
explain what that is.
So it's like a permanent, like I had to have a permanent PICC line in my arm for like 8 months. And then, then I was just staying at home.
But she was like not easy to deal with, just to let you know. Home,
not a pleasant sick person, huh?
Which is bad enough, but now it's a sick person in my apartment. You know, for us, it's not a house, it's an apartment. But here's the other story, is that there was like a little bit of a romance. Her old boyfriend now comes back, and now they're in the back room getting back together. So brought romance into her life again. It was very crazy.
Oh.
But that's really when you started with the editing and the videos and really getting into all of that.
Yeah.
You were home doing that. So you would have to go to the doctor like every day or something and get this stuff.
Yeah, like I think I would do the IVs at home. Like you would have like a nurse come, and then I think I would go to the doctor like once a week or something. There was just a lot of like doctor appointments.
A lot of shit. That sucks. So I'm going to say, but you're done now?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll never go back to what I had. I mean, I had
7 years.
I had like a little relapse like 2 years ago, but never like I had to do IV. I had to like go on like an oral antibiotics. But yeah, I was like very lucky that I even got to that point, because so many people don't. Like I said, it can manifest into like MS. People end up in wheelchairs, and like it's just really, it could really manifest into other things. So I think that's why it's so hard to be treated. Because people will be like, I have this, and then doctors aren't knowledgeable enough. So they'll be like, you have MS, or I think you have mono, you have chronic fatigue. Right. So sometimes the core problem is just Lyme disease.
Yeah, they never diagnosed it right.
Yeah, like the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Do you watch that?
Yeah.
With Rhonda? Yeah. So what happened is, I am so mad at Lisa Rinna, you know, who's a housewife, because she doesn't believe Yolanda has it, and she kept saying, what was it? What she called the disease when you Munchausen.
Munchausen. Oh yeah.
Faking the disease.
Wait, I got so angry, so I was like sending her all these messages on her. They blocked me.
Oh no.
You're an awful person. Yolanda's really sick, because it really hit home, but she blocked me.
Wow.
That's so funny.
So did you ever find the damn tick? I mean, I don't mean that in a joking way.
No,
but like...
never. And 50% of people never actually see the tick.
Wow.
I also didn't know what Lyme disease was, because I grew up in the city.
Yeah.
Know like what like it looked like or anything.
That's so crazy.
That
well, thank
so
God that you're
scary.
okay and that you figured it out, you know, and you were lucky enough to have somebody test you for it and know what that was.
It sounds like it's a blessing in disguise, like, because you were able to get into the videos and the editing and the back at home with mom. And,
the silver lining.
I don't know if the back at home with mom, but I started to get into the videos. Like she was she was doing a lot with my husband and I, so maybe that's kind of how it all started in a kind of roundabout way.
And you literally now have like those digital billboards in the subway. Like I've seen you post videos and take pictures. It's like you on a freaking billboard in New York
Is
City.
that a trip or what?
She's miserable.
No. She just needs a man, right? She just gotta find her man.
She's still like, all right, so what do you do? Okay, good. Let's not. But nothing's ever good enough. I don't know if you're both like that. It's like, oh yeah, I had one here, but why wasn't it in Union Square?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that I think you'll be there in no time. You'll be in Union Square. You know what I mean? I think you're gonna get there because you're hilarious.
Were you really on Wild and Out? Is that in your intro of your podcast?
I was like on an episode of it.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I didn't know if it was just a.
But I also like never rapped before, and I told my parents, I was like, I got on this show. It was like a live competition show, and they're like, what is it? I was like, well, it's on MTV and you're rapping. And my dad was like, don't do it. And then because the other people like weren't, it was live and it was on MTV, but the other people were actual rappers, but they weren't like performers. And it was so funny, like in the green room, they were like talking all this game, like, listen, when I get out there, like I can't even look at you. And I was like, okay, like whatever. Then I guess they got so nervous because the thought, like live TV and the audience, they really panicked and they couldn't get the words out. They couldn't get their own rap out. And so everyone like started booing them. And then I was like, well, like, I think I might have a chance at this because before I didn't think it. And I like wrote this rap with my friend and I said it. And then basically, then I made it to the next round. I kept making it to the next round. And then finally, it was like,
finally there was a good rapper.
Right. Then and this other girl, and she was like very good, and then she beat me, and I was like, listen, she beat me with rapping, like I can't do that, like
I'm not even a rapper, bitch.
But we were watching it, my husband and I were like first of all, I've never seen a show like this in my life, and I'm like, what the hell is this thing she's on? Is this a generation thing? What in God's name? And how she even got on that and made it to the end was very bizarre. But I was like, she can't rap. What the hell?
What is she doing?
That is crazy. Now, do you have any like public speaking background or like anxiety, I guess, even? Because I couldn't imagine. We were talking in one podcast about acting versus, and then the word improv came up. Like I would do good at improv off the top of my head type stuff.
Yeah,
but then like putting
like
it in front of a live show or like
stand up, that's oh my god, that's terrifying to me. To stand up with a mic and be like,
where do you get your confidence?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think, it takes like a lot of, that's why they say stand up takes so long, because it's like, just takes so many years to feel comfortable on stage. I mean, I always felt very comfortable like being in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. But, with stand-up and anything live, because you do it so much, I think you get less and less nervous. But then there's still moments when you do get nervous.
Yeah.
But,
right.
It just depends on, like, the crowd, right? I mean, I imagine you, like, get up there and you're kind of feeling everybody out if they're going to respond well or not. Can you kind of, like, know now? Yeah,
like, I had, like, an important show last week, and, me and all the comedians are talking. We're like, all right, that wasn't like a hot crowd. You have like stand-up lingo. And then people are like, what does that mean? I'm like, well, a hot crowd is, they're laughing at everything. They're like, ha, like it's like what they're dying, they're peeing in their pants. But then everyone was very just like, because it was like mostly industry, so they're not like a good audience. They're just like, because they've been watching comedy for 30 years, and they're just like, but that's not a crowd you really want to like do comedy for.
Yeah.
So that it's kind of like you just kind of have to like do it because you think what you're saying is
tell
so
them
funny.
about the green room. What happened
with
this show? You didn't hear your name.
Oh, and then the second show, I didn't hear my name, and then he was like,
you weren't watching
because I she wasn't watching. Let me just tell this story. I wasn't there, but I'll say it. So I don't like watching the comedian before me because I don't want to like get in my head being like, oh, they were better. So I just like to like be in my own thing. Mm-hmm. And then I heard like a clap, and then he was like, Tori. And I was like, did I hear my name? I thought someone was going to be like, Tori, you're next.
Yeah.
And I knew it was coming up, and then he was like, Tori. And then I was like, oh my God, I think I'm back. So I like ran to the stage, and then I was like late. And then I think the audience thought it was like a bit.
Oh,
that
no.
I was like late. And then I think that like kind of messed me up, and I was like, oh God, like where do I go from here?
You got flustered. It was hilarious when I think most recent podcast they were talking to LuLu was like, or no, Tori said something about how they sold like 30 tickets, and she was like, only 30? I thought you were going to sell 500. Like, that's something my mom would say.
The best is for my mom. we sold like at one point it was like 50, and she was like, and then she's like, but I bought 10. And I was like, but why did you buy 10? She's like, this person coming. But the best is, as I've been doing the podcast longer, like with my mom, I realized like no matter what stage you are, like your mom is always like your biggest fan. In most cases, like we had Michael Rappaport on. He's like a famous actor, podcaster, and he had a show at Caroline's, and he was like, my mom bought 30 tickets.
Oh
and he's like a star. And Mom, why did you buy 30 tickets? Like, and then I had another friend recently I was talking to, and he's from Canada, and he was like, yeah, my mom bought like 40 tickets. And like,
oh my gosh.
She was late to the show. So then she was like late to the show, and no one can get into the show because she had all the tickets.
Oh, no. I was gonna say, did they like invite 40 people, or was it just like your mom with all 40 tickets just wanting to like support you financially, like give you money?
These moms real like when she told me how many we had, I was like in my head going, I'll just buy the extra 20. Fuck it. I just want them to think we sold out. But I think that these moms really, I don't have 40. Well, I got a lot of my staff, but I don't have 40 people. And I think some of these people really do have. First of all, if you're Michael Rappaport, I think you have 40 people. I could easily get 40. But if you're just Tori Piskin, which is, to me, she's Michael Rappaport.
The world, right, yes.
Yeah, but I think that these moms who we know seem to round up 40 people.
Yeah, like let's do this. Let's sell this sucker out. I like it.
If I had a live show, do you think your mom would like help like promote you, or think she would buy tickets?
I don't know. I think she would.
Yeah, she'd probably come. Yeah, like if we were doing something like that, she'd probably come. I don't think that she'd be like buying extra tickets. She'd be like, so am I going to get a free ticket?
Yeah, that's true.
Right,
She'd be like, is the limo going to pick me up? Or...
I love that. So have you guys ever thought about a live show?
Well, we've done like live YouTube.
Yes,
show,
yeah.
But not like a live like meetup or anything, or a show.
You've done meetups before, haven't you?
Yeah, like meet and greets with. But I mean, not like a show where we have like a script or something produced or like.
I've never done anything. I don't know if I could. Like, if I could stand up. Like, it's one thing to talk to my camera. It's a totally different thing to get up in front of, 1,000 people and talk to them. It's crazy when you think about it too. Because I remember like one vlog that you did. Y'all had like you had just hit 100,000 subscribers or something, and you go into the football stadium, and he's going around with the camera showing how many seats are in the football stadium, because there's like 90 something or 100,000.
Yeah.
There was 100,000 seats in the stadium, and he's doing the camera around, and I'm just going, oh my God, Cullen, can you imagine going up there and like in your underwear and a mullet running through the stadium like you do on your vlog? I mean, could you do that like in front of all these people if you were actually in front of them? And it's just like,
It put it in perspective. Yeah, it's crazy to think about the numbers.
It's like that many people have watched me be stupid and do that. Like, no way I could do it in front of anybody.
No.
There's no way.
That you attract. I mean, I could see why. You two are really special. Like, you feel like you're sitting there with both of you, and you're so relatable. I think, listen, I don't have any algorithms, but I'm just saying,
Algorithm. She knows the terms.
Like, in other words, I don't have these numbers.
But the best is she knows the words, but sometimes she doesn't know how to use it properly.
Just throw it out there.
I was outside and the hearts were following me. I'm like, what are you talking about?
100,000 people. That's like crazy. Where does that all come from?
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it.
It was crazy. Yeah.
But just for me, like if I get 1,000 people watch one of my videos, I'm like, oh my God, that's so many people. When I think about like how many it really is, like we were just at the football game, and when he had made that video, all the seats were empty, and we were at the football game, and I was looking around, and I remembered that video and was like, look at all of these people. I mean, it was like a sold out game, and I was just looking around like, holy shit, that is so many people to get up and even say hello to. I could probably do it like under pressure. I just do it, but it's not something I would like try to go out of my way to do. No, I don't think
it would actually be really good.
It would be fun, yeah.
I like talking to people. I just don't know about talking to people in front of
When you say live show, like, how did y'all like? I mean, I'm intrigued now. Like, how do you?
Cullen, he wants to do.
It's
this.
like you ran out of space, or like, how did it all get? It was a comedian thing, right? Or like a
So it was part of the New York Comedy Festival.
Okay.
Which just means like, if you go on the website, like we were on there. So say if you're like, oh, I'm looking for a show to see, like there was one of them to see. So basically, I rented like a comedy club space, and then which is easy to do in New York because there's like so many spaces to do it. And then I just kind of like came up with the idea. I was like, oh, okay, like in the beginning, I'll play this video of my mom teaching the fitness video in the 80s because like that's funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, I do an impression of her, so I'll come out as her and that'll be funny. And then
we had an opener.
Yeah, I had like a comedian opener, like kind of warm the crowd up to like, you know what I mean? Like be like, all right, laughing, like get them like their juices going. And then from there, I just had like different segment ideas, kind of like what we do in the pod. It was basically similar to what we do in the podcast, just maybe like a little more like video incorporated. And I played one of the parts. I played like voicemails from my mom, and it was like a segment called like, "Can you get the reason why you called?"
And I had no idea she was doing this.
This is like totally real life. This wasn't even made up. You just played your phone, like
because my mom, like, I don't know if this is a general mom thing, but my mom will call and leave voicemails that never make any sense. They'll be like, "Call me," or like, "No one is here. No one." Be here.
She did, yes. I watched one of your Instagram posts earlier, and Lulu does the same thing our mom does, where she'll call and she'll be like, "Hey, sweetie, how are you? Yeah, can I get a number 1 with no mayo?" And I'm like, "Mom, you called me. What do you?
Yeah.
Hang on, sweetie. Yeah, no pickle."
Our mom will FaceTime me just so she can use the camera to pick something out of her tooth.
Yeah.
Like that shit happens. But it's like, Mom, what are you talking? And then she always, when she texts us, she always signs her name. Like we don't know who.
Love Mom.
Like love Mom.
That's so cute.
It's like we know who you are. We have caller ID just like you do on your iPhone. You know, like we see Mom.
But like right now is your live show. Like honestly, just how you two are.
Yeah.
That's what. And you would have so many people coming.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like you have to decide if it's something. It's more effort. You know, it's a lot more work.
But I think it's also something like people. So I did that, and then
it wasn't any work for me. Let's not.
Right. She kept being like, "What am I doing?" And the thing with my mom, it's because like she's not a comedian, so I can't say like when I tell her like be funny, then I think because she's so naturally funny, then I think it's gonna get in her head, and then she's gonna like try to be funny.
That is so accurate because whenever the reason Granberry Sense, the little spinoff show, happened was because of the funny way my mom was naturally in the vlogs in pieces, but then you give her a dedicated show and it goes to her head and she starts freaking the freak out, and she tries to be funny too hard and then she just collapses.
And like,
sorry, Mom, but she would admit it too. She's like she hates she is better improv, like she on the off the cuff, and
she's being Mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you're telling her, okay, you're going to have your own show, but now a lot is riding on it.
But it's kind of like you're the producer of it, and like when I think of the show with me and my mom, it's like, all right, well, what are the questions that will provoke my mom to say something funny?
Yeah.
I can't be like, Mom, remember this line, that was really funny, so I have to like write things that I know like she'll have a funny reaction to.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I could totally do that.
Yeah, like with the questions, we did like that part of the live show, like just a bunch of questions, and then we took questions from the audience. The only thing I realized that was hard, and like I'll note for next time, is like a lot of people wanted to like interact with us during the show.
That's what I was gonna say, is like off the cuff, if somebody comes at you with something you're not prepared for.
And of course I'm going, yes, and this, and she's going to me, stop it. I'm not supposed to interact. I'm thinking this is good. You know, you're getting the interaction, but then they're like wasted also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're drunk, and
then like when I was doing the voicemail of my mom playing the voicemails, like I played it and then I had like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music playing as she guessed, so it would be like, you know, like, ooh, you only have a minute. But then this girl in the audience was like, let me tell you a story about my dad. He leaves the funniest voicemails. And I'm like, I'm so glad it resonated with you, but then it became like about her. And then my mom was like, gave her the mic.
Oh,
and then now, if I was a comedian, like if I was in stand-up mode, I'd be like, saying something like, all right, that's enough of you. But because they're here to see me, or like, I don't know, it's like a different format. I'm like, all right, how do I nicely say, like, wrap it up, honey? But like, without, you know what I mean? So I think like that's something I had to like
she's giving
learn.
me evil eyes.
That's what I do. Yeah, I was like,
and I'm like, even now in front of all these people, she's like a little bitch.
Honestly, like mom stopped interacting with the audience because she's calling out the dog trainer. You know what I mean? She's just calling everyone out like it's a family event. She's like, and my husband, like we would ask the question, like it'd be like, what do you think, like is there anything you and like your husband disagree upon, like by raising the kids? And then my mom would be like, Jay, what do you think? Like, and then my dad would answer, which I think was like funny.
It was a little bit of a shit show.
Yeah, that's okay.
A
That's
learning
what moms
experience.
are for. Yeah, a learning
I
experience.
got an idea. I wanted to do on LuLu. Do you have a piece of paper? This is an improv thing.
No,
Let me
but
see if
we
I can
have
find one
this.
real quick.
Why?
Hang on, I'm gonna try to find a piece of paper.
Okay.
I just want to try this. This is just gonna be freaking hilarious.
Well, listen,
'Cause
while
she
he's-
reminds me of my mom and our mom.
Oh yes. I want. Yes, please do that. I know exactly what he's gonna do. It's funny. While he's looking for paper, let me ask you. What is your? I know we're getting close to an hour here, so I want to go ahead and get your best don't tell mom stories. Okay. I know. Like I don't know because you are so open with your mom. But is there anything? Like, let's say you don't have to say something that she doesn't know if you don't want to. But what's something that you got like in real bad trouble for that you did when you were younger?
I think, I was always a very good kid, but one time I had a party.
Your face.
No, I had a party in my apartment, and I thought no one knew, and I was really like proud of myself because my parents went away, and then I guess the neighbor told my mom that I had a party, right? But then my parents were fine with it.
Yeah. No, but we were just like, listen, you just got to let us know. But I think before the podcast, Tori didn't tell me a lot.
No.
But what happened is I used to listen to her on these other podcasts. I'd find the links because she'd have it.
Yeah.
And
You'd snoop.
I'd snoop, of course.
Yeah, that's what moms do.
As moms do. And I'd be like, holy shit, she's doing that shit. And I was intrigued.
That'd be like talking about like sex, like with my friends who have like comedian podcasts about dating and gets very raunchy. And I never thought like my mom was listening. You know what I mean? And the next thing she's like, I can't believe you did that with him. Like, why would you do that? And what? Like, what were you listening to? And then recently I did like another podcast. And she was like, send me the link. And I just kept lying. I was like, it's not up. And then she was like, yes, it is. I know you just don't want me to find it.
Look for the link, and I knew she was lying.
Then you found the link?
What?
No, she never found it.
Oh, okay, good.
But I kind of gave up. I was like, I've heard enough already. Maybe I shouldn't anymore.
Why are you even doing that to yourself, huh? You're like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right, what's your best don't tell mom story? Did you do anything with your mom or with?
No. I was really, my mom passed away a long time ago, but I was really, really close, not to bring the podcast down, but I was really, really close to my mom. Mm-hmm. So I think, again, she knew too much, and it probably aggravated the hell out of her. But also back then, there wasn't as much with the sex and everything. You know what I mean? Like, I met my husband young, and it wasn't like I was out there on the town like her. Hello. I probably didn't tell my mom a lot in college, those days when, I was like experimenting, drinking and being a little more free spirited. It was a different time also, but I really told my mom too much, honestly.
Yeah.
What are things you told her? Well, what's it one time with the date? One of the dates showed up at the house, right?
So what? Yeah. So one time I was out with another guy in a movie, and this other guy showed up at that house, and I guess purposely I didn't show up. She ended up entertaining him for an hour. She felt so horrible. And when I got home, she wrote in lipstick on my mirror, "You are such an idiot."
Oh, no.
That's quite angry at me.
Yeah, busted.
Busted big time. Like, what was wrong with me? I'm out with one guy and then another guy shows up.
That's like how it's done these days, though. I mean, you're like on the Tinder swiping on a date while you're sitting in front of
Could you imagine? I was like ahead of my time.
That's right. Okay, Cullen, I gotta see this.
This is so.
Are they gonna be able to see it, or is it gonna be like reversed when you hold it up?
Oh damn, I don't know. This is a huge testament to like show how relatable y'all are, because I don't think I would do this to anybody else other than my own mom.
We got a mom on the show. We got to do it to her.
Are you on TikTok, Tori?
Yeah, I just started.
Okay, so you may have not seen this.
I just visited that thing last night, and oh my gosh, I could not, I stayed up like an hour later than I normally would have, because I was just going through these videos, laughing my ass off at some of the things these people are doing. I was just...
Yeah, like, what is it? I'm trying to... I told my mom today, I was like, Instagram, I don't know what's happening. You're getting rid of likes. You got to get on TikTok. And she's like, what? What's TikTok? I'm like, oh my God, too much to explain.
And this is quick. So I'm walking down the street in the city, and I see like 5 13-year-old girls. And I don't know how, for some reason I said, guys, what's TikTok? I didn't even tell you this.
Because the young ones will know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one girl breaks out of the crowd and she starts showing me the whole dance and like the whole. I literally for an hour I couldn't get away from her. And I said, oh, is it only for you guys? She goes, yeah, it's only for us. But I think she just thought I was so old that maybe it wasn't for me. But I was like, what the hell is it? Dancing?
Yeah, my nephew yesterday, my 15-year-old nephew goes, I said, well, what's the new platforms? Is it the TikTok? Is it the Snapchat? Are y'all still doing the Snap? He's like, yeah, but please don't get on either one of those. I hate it when old people get on our sites. And I was just like, what? I'm an old person, get on your site? What? I'm your cool aunt, you know? What the
There's all these memes and things that go around and challenges on TikTok right now. And yeah it's taken off. But, okay, so just read this out loud. I hope it's not backwards. But,
all right.
Yeah,
we're both dyslexic. Okay.
Wait.
You gotta hold it up to this.
Hang on. Let me get this.
You said you're both dyslexic, so it's okay. There you go, right there.
She's Aaron.
Mike, oh yeah, this feels like we're back in like an eye class, like seeing if we. Yes, Mike who cheese hairy.
Well, is it a guy that's really hairy, like cheesy hairy? Like he's a cheesy guy with a lot of hair?
Just read off exactly what you see on the page.
Read it again.
Mike who cheese hairy.
Now say it again faster.
Say it again faster.
Cheese hairy.
What?
Mike who cheese hairy.
Did you get it?
After like the third time, I think she got it.
It takes
Get it for the third time.
All right, you just read this one out loud too now.
I know. All right, Mom, go.
Alpha Kenny body.
What?
I said right. Alpha Kenny body. Alpha. What is that? Alpha Kenny body.
I don't know either. Alpha Kenny body.
Alpha Kenny body.
Alpha's
like
alcoholic. I don't know. What is it supposed to say?
Alpha body. A man with the alpha body.
No, it's like when you say it fast enough, it should be another word.
Oh, Alpha Kenny body. Alpha Kenny body.
But what is it?
Alpha Kenny body. This is so funny. Alpha Kenny body. Alpha Kenny body.
What will you do?
Alpha Kenny body.
You get it now?
No.
Alpha Kenny body.
Tori still don't get it.
I just alpha to the Kenny body.
I'll fuck anybody. Is what it sounds like.
Lulu didn't get it either originally.
I don't know if this game is for dyslexic people, or it could go on for like 20 hours with a dyslexic person.
That second one took me forever to get to.
Oh, okay, good.
I got it immediately.
I know. Listening to y'all say that, I was like, whoa.
Britany, I saw that. You were like...
I
can't believe you're saying that.
I'll fuck anybody. What? I will. I'll fuck anybody.
Oh, that was fun. I gotta do that.
Jesus.
I gotta do that to some people. I keep forgetting about that game.
You could do that part of your live show. That could be
yeah. And there's a couple more out there too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll do a live show, but we're definitely gonna think about it now.
Well, if you do, you have to invite us. Let us know.
Yes,
totally.
For sure. Would y'all come to Alabama? Y'all need to come down here.
Oh,
that'd be so fun.
I'm in, and hopefully we won't fight on the way there.
Dude, y'all should come. Like I always tell everybody, if you've never been to our beaches, we have the best beaches in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, the white sand and everything in the Gulf of Mexico. It's beautiful, and you got plenty of room. I know up there, like y'all, the beaches up there. It's like there's an umbrella. You can't even see the sand. There's so many people in umbrellas.
This is a clusterfuck.
That's exactly right. Yes, I wasn't gonna say that, but there's a lot of people.
You can say it all. I mean, trust me.
Here, you could drag your little chair out there, and you could have nobody to either side of you for a mile each way.
Oh my God, I could I feel like I've known y'all forever. This is amazing.
So fun. Special. I'm so glad it worked out.
I gotta come back to New York because I feel like I got cheated. The first time I went to upstate New York, and then I went to the city, and that was the first time I'd ever been in the city. And like I said, I was arguing with my husband, so it just ruined my whole damn trip. It's all his fault. But now I want to come back and explore it again with you guys. So I'm going to come and visit.
You'll come on the podcast.
Yes.
You definitely got to come. We'll take you around. Well, Tori, I think it's better if she takes you around. I think you exercise?
Well, not right now. I'm pregnant, but yes, I do try.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I'm like I said, I'm so tired. Like I can't even hardly get up. Like the thought of exercising. I'm like, no, not for me right now. But yeah,
you.
I'm 12 weeks today.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm ready to like not be sick anymore. I'm like at that point, but we just had a baby. So she's 8 months old, almost 9 months old. And then, yeah, they're going to be back to back. I'm just going to start. I'm a baby making machine right now. I'm just popping babies out. But like in between babies, that's when I'm going to come party with y'all.
I was about to say, I would totally, I mean, I do like the treadmill and stuff in the mornings these days, but I would totally come work out with you just for the fun of it.
Also, the fitness class my mom teaches is really like inside jokes. Like, I'll tell her about a date, and then during the class, if I'm there, she'll, like, reference. She'll be like, all right, everyone, like, lift your arms like you're on a hinge date. But they never make, like, any sense. But it's
just coming up with your own thing.
Class.
Just laughing, I think I'd get a workout. Just
right?
Yeah, just come and
yeah.
listen.
But we have a lot of pregnant people. And a lot of my teachers teach up until the time they have the baby. And I'm literally like, aren't you going to like leave soon? Like they're like literally can't walk up the stairs and they're throwing up in the downstairs. And we have like a big and I'm like, oh my God.
It's
like
been
it's
rough.
9 months. And she's like, no, they all get pregnant there.
Yeah, no. They'll get pregnant at the class.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of class are you holding these days? I mean, hey, no.
This internet thing is crazy. Where can everybody find y'all?
Yeah,
I want to hear all the plugs.
So you can find me on my Instagram at Tori, ToriPiskin, and my mom's Instagram.
At LuLu Piskin, LuLu Piskin, Piskin.
And then our podcast is called Got It From My Mama. You can find it where you can find any podcast, and we also have an Instagram for it called Got It From My Mama Podcast. And we also have a Patreon page. So, check us out in any of the forms.
I've got to go on and follow you guys on all
I was about to say,
things.
I'm following you from my personal.
I'm already you guys. I love you guys.
We love y'all. Y'all are so relatable, and you're just so easy to talk to. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We've just had so much fun with y'all.
This is amazing.
I know. I can keep going.
Y'all go check them out. I'm searching them right now so I can follow them on my personals.
Yes, everybody that's listening, definitely go check them out. Go follow them. Show them some love. And thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you all for listening. Hey, Cullen, why don't you go get up real quick and turn around and show everybody that sweet merch you got on today.
Damn, I forgot. I was like, you want me to show my ass?
Yeah. For everybody that is watching on YouTube, not just the listeners. But, we can see. Yes, y'all go check out the merch, favorite this podcast, and, yes, and share it with your friends.
In the books.
In the book.
Gotta buy one.
Yeah.
There you go. Buy 40 of them.
Yeah, Mom. Come on, Mom. All right. Thank you guys so much, and we'll hang out again soon. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Don't tell Mom. Peace.